9 ways that you know you have a good therapist in your hands. Number 1 is he creates a safe space. Is there a safe space there where you can be open, free, speak freely, comfortably, right? So create a safe space for you. Number 2 is that they listen intently, that they're listening to you. Why? Because a lot of times just us talking is all the icebreaker that we need to even have self-realization, self-discovery.
They're asking you questions and you're like, oh.
And sometimes you're creating the solution already with yourself without them even giving you any feedback at that moment, because you're self-discovery, like, man, I didn't realize this. Okay, but speaking it, right? Number 3 is that they engage in dialogue. So they're, again, asking those questions, and the reason they're asking for these questions is they're trying to gain a little bit more, and sometimes even pull out some of the stuff that's deeply rooted in there. So they're trying to pull that stuff out, right? So engage in dialogue. They encourage feedback. So it's okay for you to give, feedback, and they're going to encourage it. Well, what do you think? So you give them that feedback. Well, this is what I think will work for me or not work for me, right? And you give them feedback. So they were going to encourage that. Tell you things that you don't want to hear. And that was your therapist. And you said it stung, but I'm sure that you felt walking away from it, you felt like, man, that's a good therapist, because they still told you what you didn't want to hear. So that's another clue right there that you have a good therapist in your hands. They help you gain perspective. Now I can tell you, we gain perspective a lot of times just us talking it out loud, and they're not saying one word, they're just listening. But because when you spoke it hit a light bulb, right? They help you set goals. And in your situation, I'm sure that the therapist says, hey, maybe you need to do this, absolutely. this, X, Y, and Z, right? And you to get to a better place. They validate your experiences. That's number 8. And number 9 is they act as a guide. And that's what I was saying. A lot of times a good therapist is going to guide you through it. They're not going to impose their will or their expertise, because they're experts. They're not. They're simply just going to guide you. And then allow you to speak your emotions, again, it goes back to creating a safe space.
Creating a safe space.